Each of us has a torch, a passion burning inside that ignites our motivation. When it's fed, the fire spreads and helps those around us keep their own torches shining bright. Our combined light can keep any monster at bay. We bring together people from around the world, sparks of light and glowing embers with enlightening stories of kindness, success, and overcoming adversity, fanning the flames of love, compassion, and positivity, sharing their light to help those struggling in darkness. I'm John Verico, and this is Share Your Fire. Hello there. Welcome to a fantastic episode of Share Your Fire. And I call it a fantastic episode because my guest is very special. And all right, you're going to hear me say that a lot, but I only bring special people on this show. I have with me today somebody who has some very unique talents. Jennifer Farrar is a healer of multiple modalities, and I can't wait for you to get a chance to meet her, so I'm just going to keep her right here on the screen with me, and let's get started. Jennifer, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm always great, especially when I'm talking to you. There's something about the energy that you exude that always makes me feel good.
Oh, good. That's my everything that I try to do, and all the inner work that I've done is to get exactly to that point.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So, being a healer and using, some of the skills that you have, and you use multiple modalities. I know that you work with people. You're a Reiki master in several forms and a bunch of other skills as well. First of all, let's talk a little bit about what that is. Some people may have heard the term of Reiki, but not really quite sure what that is and how it works. And we'll talk about that and other types of healing.
Well, Reiki, it basically means universal life energy, and it's channeled from somewhere we don't know, and it's channeled through me, through my hands, and actually through my eyes. And the benefits of it are relaxation, stress relief. And I have a lot of clients who come to me when they've been injured, because when we're injured, our body does this. It braces, and especially if it's multiple injuries or long-term stress or things like that. And what Reiki does is it helps your body just kind of go, oh, and it allows your body and your energy to just relax. Because our bodies are incredible healing mechanisms. I mean, when you cut yourself, it's going to heal on its own. There's nothing that you have to do, maybe put a Band-Aid on it, but that's it. The body knows what to do, but it can't do that when you're like this all the time. And when you're braced like that, and over time, your body just does this. And you can't move, you can't function, think straight.
Right. You kind of clench up and tighten up, and your shoulders come together. And
Yeah, and Reiki will help you relax so that your own body systems can take over and heal itself. And I recently had a client who was in a motorcycle accident. And it took her a year to get to me, but she walked in with a cane, hobbling because she had a broken ankle and multiple other injuries that she had been working through. And
so going through all the physical therapy and all of that to lead up to this.
Right. Getting to me, and she walked out without her cane. And she didn't even realize it. And when she came back for another session, she's like, I stopped using my cane. And I'm like, because she was bracing so much, even through the physical therapy. Because I've been in physical therapy for 18 months at one point with sciatica, and I know how grueling that is. And she had been through a year and a half of it.
Wow.
With all of her injuries, because it was a severe accident, not her fault. And even with a helmet and leathers, she still had lots of injuries. And now she's walking around, and because the one thing she said to me was, I want to wear my high heels again.
Does
And
she know my mother?
well, I'm tall, so I don't wear high heels. But she came to my like my shoulders, and she's like, I want to wear my high heels again. And it took about 9 sessions, and she finally got there. She's wearing her high heels again.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I had to laugh when you said high heels. When my mother passed, she was 85 and had 270 pairs of high heels in her closet. Yeah, I know. There was one pair of sneakers in there with a tag on it.
Which her doctor was probably saying you need to wear the sneakers.
That's exactly it. He said, you're 85, you can't keep doing. And Mom would walk on, she'd take her shoes off, she'd walk on her toes. She just
Yep.
never relaxed her feet, and so the doctor did tell her she needed to get some sneakers. So there was the sneakers, and
Well, she got him.
and she said, he said I had to get them, didn't say I had to wear them.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
what was going through my head. Yeah.
yeah, when we were cleaning things out and stuff, and there were all those shoes, I was like, you got to be kidding me. So we still have a bunch of them. So if you know anybody who needs a size 6 high heels, we've got plenty of them. No kidding.
Fire sale.
We've donated them all now, but still. I feel sorry for the place who's still trying to get rid of, whatever church or whatever that's still trying to get rid of the size 6 high heels.
Well, I understand that. My mother was a hoarder, and it took me quite a while to clean out her house after she passed. So, yeah, that's not fun at all. Not fun at all.
So, and this brings me to some other things in life too, because there's so many things that people suffer from, that whether it's trauma based or not, and we talked a little bit about Reiki, but only just because I know you're a Reiki master, and I really wanted a good description of that. And we know that it's considered energy work,
Right.
and it usually goes along with physical massage as well sometimes. And
Yeah, I'm not a massage therapist, but yeah, many
Right.
massage therapists are Reiki masters. Yep.
yeah, and so you have these various forms of healing that are designed for overcoming physical ailments and recovering from injuries, but then there's other kinds of healing that can really help people to overcome maybe hoarding, maybe other challenges that they're facing in their life. And so let's talk a little bit about kind of different modalities of healing that you use to help people through different types of challenges that they're facing.
There's so many. When I first
I know.
started, okay, so I started way back in the 90s, before there were cell phones, before there was internet. I actually had to go to a bookstore to learn. And I'm going to say this. I do what I do because I needed it first. Everything that I do is an answer to a prayer. Literally, as the little kid prayer where you're on your knees beside of the bed. That's what I was doing, because life was so difficult, and I was going through lots of stuff, and I had a lot of mental, emotional belief baggage that I needed help.
You had a lot of death in your family,
Yeah, we did. I did not lately, but for a period of about 15 years, it was one death after another, after another, after another, after another, like in very short period of time. I lost my brother, one of my oldest brothers. They're twins, and then my grandma, my mom, my stepdad, my dad, my dog, a good friend, one of my best friends of 30 years,
Oh, wow.
and a smattering of other family friends. So it was one hit after another, after another, and after another. And that was, I'm getting red-faced because I think about I call it that time in my life, because it was really a protracted period of stress and trauma.
Yeah.
And I was barely functioning. And a lot of the like clearing out my mother's house that fell to me. Making the decision to remove her off life support. Even though I have 7 brothers and sisters, 6 of at which time were living, that decision fell to me.
Wow.
That was a tough decision. And
Yeah.
and then and even before my mother passed away, helping my mother-in-law make the decision to remove her husband of 54 years, 52, 54, somewhere around in there, off life support. I mean, I remember that day she turned to me and said, "What do I do, Jenny? What do I do?" And I had, in a previous conversation with my father-in-law, who's such a great man, and little do people know is we both facilitate the Winning on Wednesday portion of the iNet Alliance.
Yes, we do.
Robert, yeah, the founder of the iNet Alliance went to my father-in-law's high school. He was the principal. So
If you ever wonder whether or not this is a small world, it really
yes.
is.
And I met Robert on someone else's networking event, and so making those decisions, it really just crushed me, and I needed ways to be able to function. Because for the most part, all of the death in our families happened 2 hours to 2.5 hours away from where I lived. So I was traveling 3 days a week, 2.5 hours, and then coming home, taking care of my husband, taking care of my dogs, making sure my husband had all of his stuff so he could function, and then take care of everything else in the house. And so that lasted, I don't know, 10 years.
Wow.
I put a lot of miles on my car. I'm grateful for the help and assistance I was able to give to my stepdad. My mom passed before he did, and then my mother-in-law, who's also a great woman. I told her I hit the in-law jackpot because they loved me dearly, and I loved them as if they were my parents. So. And there's a lot of other things that went on, a lot of financial issues because of me. I didn't work for 15 years. No income came in. And I'm just so grateful for my husband for holding down the fort financially, that allowed me to do not only help my family, but help his family as well. So all of that came to, I need help. I need, my heart's
Yeah, you
heavy.
can only do so much for others but if you're not doing for
Right.
yourself, you don't have the strength and the power and the ability. Oh my
Right.
God.
And that, I mean, there's still a lot of other traumas that I have not even spoke about. And thankfully, I was a Reiki master by then. And I had learned emotional freedom technique, which is also called meridian tapping. And that is tapping on various points, acupressure points on your hand and your face, to help you through the emotional and mental stress, to help alleviate that. I also know a technique called PS Tech, or percussive sound technology. That is also very similar to EFT. I would do that and EFT for hours and hours every night, because I had so much post-traumatic stress that I couldn't sleep. I was having flashbacks from all of the stress, from a very specific incident, and I couldn't. I had just shut down through all of that. I just shut down, and I still needed to be able to function, because I still had people depending on me. My younger brother, who's now since passed, has a special needs child who's my dear, and if you're anywhere on my personal Facebook page, she's all over it. And so I was helping him.
She's really sweet. I've seen it.
Yeah. as well. You'll see her artwork on my page, and it's so funny because I'll help her with the watercolors. Like I'm her assistant. I set it up, and she'll go, Aunt Jenny, why aren't you painting? I said, because you're the artist. And she'll go, yeah, I am. So her joy and her light also helped me through. The whole point is I needed the help, and every time I asked for help, whether it be mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual, someone would show up. It literally, ask and you shall receive. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it was a day. Sometimes it was me just in my head asking. And I'll give you an example of that. I had quit my job. I was a manager at JCPenney, mm-hmm. and I quit my job, and I just went into a funk. Just went into a funk. This is way before all of the deaths started happening. And I'm sitting on the couch watching TV because I'm unemployed, and I get a knock on the door, and I'm like, okay, it's what is this? And this is how long ago it was. It was a VHS tape from one of my mentors and a good friend of mine. We had not discussed this prior to it. It was a tape on how to do EFT, emotional freedom technique.
Wow.
She had sent it. I had asked, I had said the prayer, I need help because I didn't like being depressed. And then that video showed up. How did she know? Because we didn't talk about it.
So you were going through a depressive, you were going through a depression before even getting pummeled with a series of deaths and other traumas in your family.
Oh, oh yeah. I called myself a functional depressed person because I could function in the world. No one would know that I was depressed, and people were like, "Well, you're depressed." I'm like, because I know how to plaster a smile on my face when I need to. when I need to, and that's the way it was. And I was like that when I worked at JCPenney because although I was really good at the job and the job was a great job, it was sucking my soul. Because it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. I was supposed to be doing this.
But you didn't know it at the time.
Yeah. No, I didn't know it at the time. And I didn't know, I was a Reiki person by that time, but I didn't do it professionally, not like I do it now.
Right. But you mostly, you took it on because you were trying to heal yourself.
Oh, first. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So when did you realize that you had this capability that you could apply to others and to help? I love how you kind of turned your whole life around and focused on helping others to get through whatever traumas and stuff they're dealing with so that they don't have to suffer like you did.
It actually happened very gradually. And people literally came into my life. Literally came into my life. Here, let me introduce you to this person. And that person, whoever that person was the person I needed information from. Like just recently it's a technique called full court of atonement. And it's an incredible modality, very simple, because you just repeat after me. And I speak with a colleague every Monday. We met in another networking group, and we've been talking every Monday for 4 years. And she's like, "Hey, do you know what this is?" And I said, "No, what is it?" And I've been using it ever since, and it's helped. We can change beliefs. We can release all sorts of emotional, internal, mental, physical, spiritual stuff. And it's very simple and it's very fast. And we can do house clearings, we can do business clearings, all sorts of that kind of stuff with it. And and so it was, but in my head, I was like, I need something to help me with this. I want something that is easier to do with people. And then 2 weeks later, hey, do you know what full court of atonement is? And I'm like, nope. And so that's kind of how it happened, but it didn't happen all at once. It actually happened over a course of probably 10 years.
Wow.
Because every time I came to something that I needed. So to answer your question, I always knew I was an empath. So and I tell my clients, I feel what you feel, or my version of it. Like I'm always taken back to a situation in my life that is very similar to what you're describing to me, so I can understand what you're feeling.
And chances are, with everything you've been through, you've probably been through something similar.
Quite a bit. and and growing up in a large family, lots of stuff happens in a large family.
Now, you were one of 8, right?
Yeah, I'm number 7. Yeah. My as a side note, my husband's grandmother was one of 10 or 12, somewhere around in there, and she was a harsh lady. And so at one Thanksgiving, they put me next to her, and we just started talking about what it's like to be in a large family. And all of his family are like, because she never liked anyone.
She like people.
But she liked me because we had shared experiences of growing up in a large family. So and anyone who's grown up in a large family understands those experiences.
My grandparents' generations were like that. And then my parents' generation, people got a little more sane with with the sizes of the families, and most of them had 1 or 2, or some even none. But it's funny. My father's sisters both had 6, but he and his brothers all had 2.
Mm-hmm. And, my siblings. Yeah. My siblings only have. I think my sister Carol has 3. Everyone else 1 or 2. And
my mother was an only child, but her mother was one of 6, and her father was one of 10. Yeah. So my grandparents on that side.
Oh yeah. Lived experiences.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So I don't know if that answered your question, but I came to everything gradually, and I came into my abilities gradually, and a lot of it was, I want to learn this, whatever this was. I want to learn how to change beliefs, so I need to develop this skill. And people call them gifts.
And when you talk about changing beliefs, let's talk. We're not talking about people like changing religions. We're talking about changing what they believe about themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I tell people, your outer world has everything to do with your inner world. What you're telling yourself, what your parents told you, what society told you. And generally from the ages of 2 to 7, our brains are in a theta brainwave. That's why they call it the formative years. Right. Everything just goes in. There's no filter. We don't have the ability or capacity to say, well, that's not me.
Right. You can't qualify what you're receiving. Yeah.
So anything that happened in that time frame all goes in. And we develop beliefs. We develop how we handle situations. We develop all sorts of coping mechanisms at that age to be able to understand the world around us. And for me, it was a lot of chaos in those, because older brothers and sisters. So as a sensitive, it was difficult for me to be able to be around all of that energy, all that frenetic energy. Yeah. And I didn't understand that. Actually, I did not really understand it until I was in my 40s. I'm in my 60s now. And once I understood that I was a sensitive, that I was an empath, I was like, oh, none of that was me?
Yeah. So now it all makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
Because
that's what I was experiencing.
Because I can walk in a room, and if someone's had an argument, all of a sudden my thoughts become dark because I'm picking up on that energy. And to the 10th degree, most people understand that if they walk into a room and they're like, ooh, what's that?
Yeah, you can feel a tension or something. Yeah.
Right. But for me, before I knew I was an empath, I thought I had done something wrong. So something was wrong with me. That was my belief. Something was wrong with me. I caused this, or whatever
Yeah.
belief that appeared. And once I realized I was an empath, and more kids being born these days now are sensitive in some way, shape, or form. Meaning, some people just see, some people know, some people hear, and some people, like me, feel.
Well,
So, I mean, I look at my nephew, my niece and nephew, and marvel at what they can do. Lately, they're like, whatever, Aunt Jenny, whatever. And I'm like, no, no, no. Remember when you were a kid, you saw spirits, you saw all sorts of things, and you heard and felt all sorts. They're like, yeah, yeah. Now they're like, yeah, that doesn't bother me. But when they were kids,
maturity tends to blow things off.
right? Well, yeah, especially when you're a teenager, you've got other things to think about rather than seeing spirits and things like that. So that's always been in my family. My mom was a gifted psychic. She didn't do anything with it, but there were things that she knew where we were at all times and what we were doing. I mean, granted, we lived in a small town, so
That might
people
be
would
just a
call her.
mother thing. My mother, one of my blog posts a while back, and it's going back several years, I wrote about how mom always knew. You couldn't hide anything from her. She always knew. She called herself a witch.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But again, she goes, I'm a witch. You can't hide anything from me. I was like, oh.
I could never hide anything from my mom. I don't know how my older brothers and sisters thought they could get away from it, get away with it.
Yeah.
And they never did.
Yeah.
And, I saw that, so I learned.
I don't know if it's a superpower or just an intuition. It's just, but she always knew when we were up to something or had done something we shouldn't have or went where we weren't supposed to, even though she told us we shouldn't go there. Whatever it was. And when my parents were divorced and we'd go off on adventures with Dad, and Dad would always take us to do things that Mom would never approve of course, hunting and fishing and canoeing and, hiking in the mountains.
Being boys.
Yeah, exactly. And one of us would get injured in some fashion. She knew. and Dad would get, a ration of feedback about, whatever happened to us.
And that look that would just wither you.
Oh, the look. Yeah, the look.
Yeah.
She also had deadly aim.
Ooh.
You know those high heel shoes I mentioned earlier?
Ouch. You could poke an eye out.
She would, I don't know, sometimes even around a corner. I don't know how, but she would be able to hit us with that shoe.
I thankfully never experienced corporal punishment from my mom because I learned.
Oh, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't much. It was either that or a lot of it was wait till your father gets home, and it was the belt. But even then, it wasn't. We didn't get beaten, kind of thing.
Right.
But
Well, it was. I mean, we are of a certain age. It was a different time.
It was a different
time. Now.
it was a different time.
It was a different time. So
But Mom would throw the shoe. Anyway.
I don't know how we got off topic, but yeah. So
Because that's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's all topic.
It is. It is. I was in my 40s before I learned I was an empath, so I went, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to help people, then I need to develop other skills. And that's also where a lot of my development happened. It was a conscious decision to develop what I know internally and what I do internally into a skill.
Yeah.
Instead of just, maybe I can help this. And listening has always, that's for me is an occupational hazard because I listen more than I talk, even though it doesn't sound like it in this podcast. But I can't remember what I was going to say with that. but listening, yeah, is more of what I do, because what I'm doing is I'm not listening to the story, and the story of what you're telling me is important to you. What's important to me is the energy underneath it and the belief system holding that story in place.
Nice.
Because once you release the emotion, once you release the belief holding it in place, the story collapses. And then you're able to create something new with your life. And that's what gets me excited, is when you start seeing something new appear and change in your life. And I'm going to give you an example of that. My husband, incredibly brilliant man, was an English teacher. He still actually is an English teacher. And he was having difficulty with the other teachers in the administration, and he knows how good it can be because his dad was principal of the high school for 23 years and deputy superintendent for another, I don't know, 5 to 10 years.
Wow.
So he knows how good administrations can be. And he was having difficulty with his principal and then other people in the administration. And he's like, no one respects me. No one respects me. No one listens to my ideas. And we did just a little bit of work on no one respects me, releasing the emotion of it, finding out where, traveling through his life, trying to find out where that really started. Mm-hmm. And once we found it, and once we released that, everyone started listening to him. And at that point, it was to the point where this was after a lot of the death happened, and this was after a lot of, so he was tired because he was holding the fort for me. And he comes to me and says, I'm not renewing my contract. And I'm like, oh, okay. And totally supported him in not renewing his contract. And he turns in his keys, he turns in his badge, and literally 2 days later, 5 other teachers did the exact same thing.
Whoa.
5 other teachers followed him out the door. And I looked at him and I said,
It must have been an eye-opener for the principal and the
oh
administration.
yeah. Oh yeah. The principal was fired. and I looked at him and I said, they would not have done that, Chris, if they didn't respect you enough.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're right. So that's not really an issue anymore. But we had to do the inner work.
Right.
Finding out where the emotion was, finding out where the belief system lied underneath all of that. Because what you see here, what you see outwardly, underneath it all, there's a lot of stuff holding it in place.
Yeah.
And once that's gone, it all falls away.
And without even realizing it, you kind of exude an aura to the people around you. So the things that are holding you back are the things that they're picking up on, and they will continue to hold you back. So until you can release your own and take down that own wall, you won't be able to get past that, and other people will see you differently. That's how I got into doing, what I do, being the bullied kid, and thinking that I was not good enough. I was less than others, and because I felt that I was less than others, I was treated like I was less than. Until I realized that I had something to offer, and I can change the world, and I can make a difference for people, and I can help them realize that they are not less than others. And when they feel better about themselves, then they do better, and people around them feel it. And yeah, and that's, people like you, Jennifer, who are out there, maybe working with people one at a time, but are making a humongous difference because of that further impact that spreads out from there.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you for what you're doing.
You're welcome. It really is the ripples. You throw a rock in the pond and all of the ripples.
Exactly.
You never know who you're going to touch and when you're going to touch them.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't even know them.
Nope.
You know.
Nope.
So that's why, we do what we do, like with podcasts and with being in some of the books and magazines and things that we've been featured in, because we can't reach everybody, and sometimes our words might be enough to help somebody someplace. And so I'm hoping that anyone who's listening to this podcast has gotten just that little bit of juice, that inspiration, to take a better look at what might be holding them back, and reach out to Jennifer, for crying out loud. Maybe she can help you. But there's lots of things that you can do. Jennifer, you've got. Let's talk very briefly, because we're already. I can't believe how quickly time goes.
I know, we can talk.
I know. Well, you know me. I go to that support group. Yeah. For people that talk too much, it's called On and On and On. But how can people get in touch with you? And also, you have a podcast as well.
I do.
Wellness Way Energetics.
We talk about all things energy and all things healing with my co-host Susan Flerschinger.
Yes.
Yeah, from Form to Soar with Susan,
and your company is Healing Peace
Within.
Within. And I love the name of that, by the way. I love the name of your company and your mission, Healing Peace Within, helping people to kind of find that inner peace within themselves, so that they can thrive. And so your YouTube channel is Healing Peace Within
LLC.
On
Healing
YouTube.
Peace Within LLC.
That's your company.
Yep.
And on YouTube, you're found under Healing Peace Within LLC.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you'll find a lot of subliminals there. I'm creating more, and you'll also find our Wellness Way Energetics podcast on there.
Excellent. And I'll put some more contact information in the show notes for people. But if for the people who are only listening to this audibly, what would be the best way to get in touch with you? Is it through LinkedIn or?
No, just email me at Jennifer at healingpeacewithin.com is the best way. And there's a contact form on my webpage, healingpeacewithin.com, and you can even schedule a free discovery call on my website.
Fantastic. I hope people take advantage of that. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. Jennifer did allude to the fact that we do host a program. It's a networking program on Wednesday afternoons. It's called Winning on Wednesday. It is part of the iNet Alliance group of opportunities for people all around the world to network, to learn from each other, and to grow. And so you can find us there on Winning on Wednesdays. Which it changes because this time of year we're at 4 p.m. Eastern, all right?
3 p.m. Central.
3 p.m. Central. So check us all out. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Jennifer, for being here.
Thank you.
And folks, we'll catch you next time. We've got lots of fabulous guests scheduled to come up on the podcast. I'm very excited about, but not more excited than I was to have Jennifer on the show today.
Great recovery.
Thanks, everyone. Take care and have a great day.